The Kybalion revealed, the hidden power that transforms reality. Dear traveling souls, what if I told you that this video represents alchemy in action, right now before your eyes? It's not just another piece of content on the internet. If you're here, it's because something inside you has been searching for this message, a change, a truth. In spiritual alchemy, nothing happens by chance. What we call chance is nothing more than a law that has yet to be recognized. Everything follows a principle, everything is mental, everything vibrates. Your thought was the cause, and this video is the effect. Even if your mind doubts it, deep down you know it's not a coincidence. The Kybalion, a work guarded among initiates for centuries, is not revealed to everyone. It manifests itself only to those who are ready to pierce the veil of illusion and transform their reality from the inside out. If you're here, this is your moment. It doesn't matter if you understand everything or if you still feel lost. You don't need more information, just to remember what you already know. And this video will help you achieve it. At the end of the video, I'll show you how to apply the 7 principles of the Kybalion to truly transform your reality. But first, listen carefully, because only those who are ready will be able to understand. If you feel these words speak directly to your soul, leave a like. It's not just a gesture, but a silent affirmation, a sign that you are ready, and it will help this message reach those who need it. Long before modern science and religion, a name was whispered among priests, philosophers, and initiates. Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great, thrice master, thrice initiated into the deepest mysteries of creation. In Egypt, he was Thoth, god of wisdom, writing, and time. In Greece, he became Hermes, messenger between the worlds and guardian of hidden knowledge. From the union of these two figures, an archetype so powerful that it has traversed the centuries, hidden among symbols and coded words. Hermes is considered the founder of the first mystery school in Egypt, where knowledge was not taught, but experienced by those who were prepared. His teachings were secret and guarded with such rigor that they gave rise to the term Hermetic knowledge, meaning a wisdom closed and inaccessible to the uninitiated. Around 35 works are attributed to him, many of which were lost in the fires of the Library of Alexandria. But a spark of that knowledge survived and gave rise to an immortal work, the Kybalion. Written in 1908 by anonymous authors who signed themselves the 3 initiates, the Kybalion contains the essence of original Hermeticism. Although the language has been adapted to modern times, the content retains the same vibration as the carvings on the temples of Thoth. This wisdom was never intended to become popular. That is why few have heard of it and even fewer have understood it. The first principle of the Kybalion is mentalism. Everything that exists, absolutely everything, is mind. The universe itself is a living thought vibrating within the consciousness of the All. This is not just a metaphor, but a reality for initiates. You are not observing the universe from outside. You are part of it. More precisely, you are within the mind of the divine. Imagine a mind so vast and powerful that everything it thinks becomes reality. This is the essence of the All, the primordial consciousness. The Hindus called it Mat, the cosmic mind, the Gnostic Pleroma, the Hermeticists simply called it the All. But what does this mean in practice? It means that the reality you experience depends on the quality of your thoughts. Nothing moves outside without first moving within you. The mind is the matrix, your tool of creation. Your beliefs, emotions, and intentions are the brush with which you paint your existence. We live in a reality governed by spiritual laws, a kind of simulation in which we participate in creation. Your thoughts and vibrational states directly influence the events around you. This truth is the basis of all ancient teachings. Buddha said that suffering arises from the mind. Jesus said that faith can move mountains. Hermes revealed that everything is mental. Today, quantum physics is beginning to confirm this view. The famous observer effect demonstrates how consciousness can influence matter. If the universe is mind and you are a spark of that supreme mind, what prevents you from consciously shaping your life? When you understand that everything is mind, you begin to see how reality is created from the inside out. And this is where true transformation begins. Have you ever wondered why life seems easy for some people, while others continually struggle? The answer lies in what the Kybalion clearly reveals. Nothing happens by chance. The concepts of luck, coincidence, or destiny are merely reflections of spiritual laws we don't yet understand. The universe is not a senseless chaos, but a perfect symphony governed by 7 universal laws. These laws work whether you believe in them or not, just as gravity doesn't cease to exist just because we can't see it. One of the most important is the law of cause and effect. Everything you are experiencing today is the result of past thoughts, emotions, and actions. This is the principle of karma, of subtle physics, of Hermeticism in its purest form. To better understand this principle, let me tell you a short story. In a mountain village, an old gardener was known for his calmness and wisdom. Every day, he tended his plants with patience, undaunted by difficulties. A young man, frustrated by his failures, asked him why life was so difficult for him, while the old man seemed to live at peace. The gardener told him to come back the next morning to show him something. At dawn, the old man and the young man climbed a hill and planted a seed. The old man asked the boy to water it every day. After weeks, a small sprout appeared, but one day a storm uprooted it. Angrily, the young man complained, "See, nothing works as it should." The old man calmly replied, "Do you want an oak tree to grow with the patience of a flower? Every event in your life is the fruit of the seeds you have planted, whether you remember it or not. No seed escapes the law." This story contains the heart of the law of cause and effect. We are not victims of chance, but rather experience the effects of the causes we have set in motion, consciously or unconsciously. Every thought, emotion, and intention creates a vibration that sooner or later returns in the form of experience. Life's path is not linear, and sometimes it seems we are moving backward rather than forward. Here another universal law comes into play, the law of rhythm. Everything in the universe follows a cycle, an ebb and flow. Emotions, relationships, health, finances, everything is subject to natural fluctuations. Nothing waxes or wanes forever, just as the sea has its tides and winter gives way to spring. Understanding this law means ceasing to fear difficult moments and learning to flow with them. The financial market also follows this law. After every peak, there always comes a correction phase. The secret is not to be overwhelmed by difficulties or delude yourself into thinking that the moments of expansion will last forever. Plato said that the soul evolves in a spiral. It seems like we return to the same point, but in reality we are at a higher level of consciousness. What once hurt us now barely touches us. What seemed like the end becomes just a phase of the journey. Accepting the rhythm of life means stopping fighting it. The phases of introspection are used for internal growth. The phases of expansion are used to manifest our desires. The secret is not to stop the movement, but to learn to dance with it. If rhythm teaches us that everything oscillates, polarity shows us that everything has 2 sides of the same essence. There are no absolute opposites, but rather different degrees of the same vibration. Heat and cold are not 2 distinct realities, but rather different intensities of temperature. The same is true of emotions like fear and love, sadness and excitement, chaos and order. It all depends on the vibrational level we are at. Matter vibrates slowly, which is why it appears solid. As its vibration increases, it becomes energy, then light, then spirit, until it merges with the all. Herein lies the secret of transmutation. It is not about eliminating what we are, but about raising the vibration of what exists within us. Fear can be transformed into anger, attachment into conscious love, anger into constructive action, pain into spiritual awakening. This is true alchemy, not turning lead into physical gold, but transmuting internal states by elevating one's own frequency. Just as the alchemist regulates the flame to obtain the elixir, those who practice Hermetic wisdom learn to observe their internal states and elevate them with intention. This is the secret of vibrational mastery, of spiritual awakening. At this point in your journey, something inside you begins to shift. It's a silent but powerful movement. an almost imperceptible shift that marks the beginning of a new consciousness. Have you ever wondered why life seems easy for some people, while others continually struggle? The answer lies in what the Kybalion clearly reveals. Nothing happens by chance. The concepts of luck, coincidence, or destiny are merely reflections of spiritual laws we don't yet understand. The universe is not a senseless chaos, but a perfect symphony governed by 7 universal laws. These laws work whether you believe in them or not, just as gravity doesn't cease to exist just because we can't see it. One of the most important is the law of cause and effect. Everything you are experiencing today is the result of past thoughts, emotions, and actions. This is the principle of karma, of subtle physics, of Hermeticism in its purest form. When you apply Hermetic principles and practice internal transmutation, you become more self-aware. With this new awareness, you realize that what you once called your life purpose may have been only an impulse from your soul, not as an end goal, but as a tool the universe used to nudge you forward. How many times have you pursued something with all your might, believing it to be the pinnacle of your mission, only to realize that once you reached it, it no longer made sense? It happens to everyone along the path, and it's not a mistake. Hermes Trismegistus said that the path reveals the seeker, meaning it's not necessary to know everything before you begin. The veil is lifted as you walk, and through investigation you realize that every desire, goal, or dream that once inspired you was a reflection of your consciousness at that moment. When your consciousness changes, your desires also change. This is why many dreams fade before becoming reality, not because you have failed, but because you yourself have changed. The part of you that wanted that thing is no longer in charge. It has been replaced by a new version of you, more aware, more connected, and more refined. This is not a failure, but a sign of evolution. Purpose, contrary to what we are often taught, is not something fixed and unchanging. It is alive, it breathes with you, it transforms as you transform. Imagine being in an open field, throwing balls in front of you. You strive to reach one, but as you run toward it, another appears, perhaps brighter, more luminous, or more inspiring. It's natural to want to achieve this. The previous ball wasn't useless. It had a purpose, to shake you out of inertia and push you to grow. Each ball is an important milestone. It's what helped you become who you are. It's what taught you to trust movement, to open yourself to the new, and to expand your perception of what's possible. The mistake would be to cling to a ball that no longer vibrates with the soul, simply for fear of appearing inconsistent. But what seems inconsistent is often just a sign of an expanding soul. And perhaps now a new ball is beginning to appear. A hidden desire, a recurring thought, the wish to change cities, careers, or study something new. Even if it doesn't make sense yet, even if your mind tries to push away the impulse, something is being born. A new cycle. This is the invitation of awakened consciousness, to realize that purpose is not a straight line toward a goal, but a constantly ascending spiral. With each turn, you see the world from a new perspective, and what once seemed essential now seems insignificant. This isn't devaluation, it's clarity. You no longer have to feel guilty for changing your mind, or ashamed for letting go of an old dream. Every ball you chased, every path, every detour, every apparent mistake was actually the right step. Purpose is not something external to be conquered, but something within you, revealing itself with every step you take. As long as you continue to move with curiosity and presence, the path will continue to reveal itself. The goal isn't to reach a destination, but rather the continuous movement. And as the path becomes clearer, you'll begin to realize that none of this is random. There's a code that binds every experience together, an invisible thread that connects everything, like a spiritual fabric that weaves every part of your life together. All this is based on the 7 universal laws. Mentalism, everything is mind. Reality is born from thought and creative consciousness. Correspondence, as above so below, as within so without. The external world reflects our internal state. Vibration, nothing is still, everything moves and vibrates. Reality is energy in constant transformation. Polarity, everything has 2 extremes, which are merely gradations of the same essence. we can consciously move from one pole to the other. Rhythm. Everything follows natural cycles of expansion and contraction. Accepting them allows us to flow without resistance. Cause and effect. Every action generates a reaction. Nothing happens by chance. Everything responds to precise universal laws. Gender. Everything has an active principle and a receptive principle. Creation occurs when these two forces are in harmony. The more we understand these laws, the more we see their interconnectedness. Each principle is reflected in the others, revealing a single great wisdom. The universe is one, governed by perfect order. The secret is not to resist, but to dance with these forces and let the path reveal itself step by step. The invisible laws that govern your reality. Let's imagine for a moment that the universe works like a vast source code, perfect software that follows precise rules. Most people live their lives without realizing it, swept along by events, reacting to circumstances, never realizing that, instead, they could be actively writing their own story. But there is a world of difference between those who are subject to these laws and those who master them. Let's think of two swimmers in a raging river. The first, oblivious to the currents, struggles and writhes with all his might, trying to move forward. Soon exhausted, he feels overwhelmed and swept away. The second, on the other hand, knows that river. He knows where the current is strongest, where there are eddies, and instead of opposing it, he glides with it, almost dancing. In the end, you'll go farther with less effort. Well, that's life. There are those who spend their days fighting everything. Situations, people, themselves, without ever realizing that the real key isn't brute force, but alignment. Those who understand these laws stop fighting them and learn to obey them. The mind that shapes reality. Everything starts there, from your thoughts, what you believe, what you repeat to yourself, what you persistently imagine, sooner or later materializes. If you convince yourself you're unlucky, the world will only show you closed doors. If you vibrate with confidence, even chance will begin to work in your favor. Try observing yourself. How many times a day do you say or think phrases like, "I'll never make it," "Everything's going wrong," "I don't have enough"? And then are you surprised if reality mirrors those words exactly? The mirror between the inside and the outside. What you see around you is only a reflection of what's inside you. A messy house, chaotic relationships, an unfulfilling job, these are all symptoms of a confusing internal dialogue. But there's good news. You can reverse the process. Start with small, concrete actions. Declutter your room, change toxic habits, surround yourself with things and people that uplift you. It's amazing how fixing the outside realigns the inside too. The frequency that attracts everything. You're like a radio station. You send out a signal and the world responds on the same wavelength. Want love? Be love. Want peace? Be peace. It's not magic. It's quantum physics applied to everyday life. It takes very little to change your frequency. A minute of gratitude in the morning, a walk in nature, a genuine laugh. These are small gestures that, however, change everything. The cycles that everyone ignores. Life is full of ups and downs, but we insist on always trying to stay on top. When a bad moment hits, we blame ourselves as if it were a failure, but that's simply the natural rhythm of things. Learn to respect your time. On low energy days, slow down without guilt. When you feel the urge, act decisively. That's how you navigate without wasting energy unnecessarily. The last secret. All teachers in all traditions say the same thing. It's not about control, it's about flow. There's no need to force, tear, or impose. We need to align ourselves. When you change on the inside, the outside must follow. Always. If these words have moved you, it's because something inside you already knows they're true. Now the question is, what will you do with this awareness? Because the real journey begins when you stop reading and start living differently. Thanks for watching the video until the end. See you soon at Angelic Spirituality.